Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters, did you know that some of the in-your-pocket change could be worth a fortune? Today, we're diving into the top high-value wheat pennies and quarter-dollar coins that could be worth millions of dollars. Stick around to see if you have one of these rare coins hiding in your collection. First up, the 1947 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, featuring a large date and D mint mark, but with a twist, this penny is in dirty condition. Wondering how much this coin is worth in today's market? Stick around, and we'll break it. First, let's take a step back in time. The 1947 wheat penny was minted during the post-World War II era, a time when pennies were still being made from copper. The large date variety, which was struck in 1947, features a clear bold. The D mint mark indicates that this particular coin was minted at the Denver Mint. Although millions of 1947 pennies were produced, the D mint mark adds an element of distinction for collectors. However, this coin's condition is what really influences its value. Condition plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin. In the case of this 1947 wheat penny, it's in dirty condition, meaning it has significant wear, grime, or discoloration. But even in this state, this penny can still have some surprising value. Though cleaning a coin can damage its value, the dirty condition often tells a story of its journey through time, perhaps passed down through generations or exposed to the elements. Many collectors find the history behind a worn, dirty coin intriguing, even if it affects the overall price. So, how much is this 1947 wheat penny worth with its D mint mark in dirty condition today? Generally, these coins are valued anywhere from $450 to $6 at auction, depending on the exact level of wear and the coin's appeal to collectors. Now, while this might not seem like a huge amount, condition is everything in the world of numismatics. Even a dirty penny can be worth more than face value if the mint mark, date, and other features are desirable. Let's say you find a 1947 wheat penny with D mint mark in dirty condition, but it has some unique characteristics, perhaps a rare error or distinctive toning. This could increase its value significantly. Certain varieties or errors, even in less than ideal condition, can dramatically increase the value of a penny. So, if your 1947 penny has an unusual feature, it might be worth consulting a coin expert or getting it graded to see if it could fetch a higher price. If you own a 1947 wheat penny and are considering selling it, here are a few tips. First, be sure to get good photographs that show both sides of the coin clearly. Even a dirty condition coin can still have value to the right buyer, but they'll want to see every detail. Also, consider the coin market. Coins in dirty condition may not fetch top dollar at a traditional dealer, but online auction platforms or specialty coin markets may offer a better return. So, it's worth exploring your options. The 1947 wheat penny is more than just a piece of currency. It's a part of American history. Its design, featuring Abraham Lincoln and the iconic wheat stalks, represents a time when the nation was recovering and rebuilding. Even a dirty penny holds its place in this story. So, if you have a 1947 wheat penny with D mint mark in dirty condition, don't underestimate its value, especially if it holds some unique characteristics. That's it for today's exploration of the 1947 wheat penny with D mint mark in dirty condition. Who knew a penny in such a state could still have value, right? If you have any of these pennies or similar coins, next up, the 1991 silver Washington quarter dollar with large date and P mint mark in dirty condition. Stick around to find out its value in today's auction market. First off, let's take a quick look at the 1991 silver Washington quarter. This coin is part of the classic Washington series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States. The 1991 quarter is unique because it is part of a series of circulating quarters made primarily from a copper-nickel-clad composition, and the P mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. Show both sides of the coin, highlighting the Washington portrait on the obverse and the eagle design on the reverse with the mint mark visible. Though it's often considered a modern coin, it still holds some appeal to collectors, especially when looking at specific conditions and mint marks. So, What do we mean by dirty condition? A coin in dirty condition typically shows signs of dirt, grime, or discoloration that have accumulated over time, especially if the coin wasn't properly stored. These coins might have been exposed to moisture, dust, or other environmental factors, which could affect the appearance and overall luster. While this doesn't necessarily affect the coin's authenticity, it can decrease its overall appeal to collectors, especially those seeking pristine examples. Now, let's talk about its value in today's auction market. A 1991 Washington quarter in dirty condition with P mint mark generally sells for around $108. While it's not a high-value coin due to its condition, it still holds some worth, especially in the right market. The presence of the large date and the P mint mark can make it a bit more desirable, but that dirty condition does impact its price. That being said, if you're looking for a pristine example, you'd likely pay a lot more, often over $135 or more for one in excellent condition. But for collectors focusing on low-grade, circulated coins, this 1991 quarter still holds some value. So why doesn't this quarter fetch a higher price in its dirty condition? The key factors are condition and demand. Coins in poor condition, especially those with heavy dirt or wear, will typically sell for less because collectors are seeking out coins in better shape. Additionally, modern circulating coins, like the 1991 quarter, are more commonly found, so the demand is not as high as older or rarer coins. However, coins like this one, with certain characteristics, like the P mint mark, can still generate interest, especially among those focusing on collecting Washington quarters by year and mint mark. Why should you consider collecting a 1991 silver Washington quarter, even in dirty condition? Well, if you're a fan of collecting modern US coins, it's a great piece to have. For those looking to complete a collection of Washington quarters from the 20th century, this coin is an important part of the series. And for those who appreciate the historical context, the 1991 quarter was minted during the bicentennial era of George Washington's birth, which holds a special place in US. Also, as a low-cost coin, it's a good entry point for newer collectors who are just starting out and want to experience the thrill of finding a coin with history without breaking the bank. Before you add a 1991 Washington quarter to your collection, here are a few tips. Always check for mint marks and condition when evaluating the coin. If you have a quarter in dirty condition, try to avoid cleaning it, as that can further decrease its value. The best way to preserve it is by storing it in a protective holder to prevent any further damage. While the 1991 Washington quarter in dirty condition may not be the most valuable coin on the market, it's still a nice addition to any collection and a reminder that even modern coins can hold a bit of charm for collectors. Next up, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, featuring a large date and D mint mark, but with a dirty condition. How much could this coin be worth in today's market? Stay tuned as we break it down. Let's begin by taking a look at the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny. This coin was produced during the early 1950s when the United States was enjoying post-war prosperity. The large date variety of 1952 has a bold, distinct year, which makes it easily recognizable to collect, and of course, the D mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint. The wheat penny design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, is beloved by collectors. But the condition of this coin is where things get interesting. Now, the condition of this coin is dirty. We're talking about significant wear, grime, or tarnish that affects the appearance. But here's the thing. Even a penny in dirty condition can still have value, especially when it's a 1952 large date with the D mint mark. While dirty coins aren't typically as highly prized as those in mint or near-mint condition, they still appeal to collectors, particularly those interested in finding affordable options for their collection. And sometimes, dirty condition coins can still carry a surprising premium, depending on rarity. So how much is a 1952 wheat penny with a D mint mark worth in dirty condition today? On average, this penny might be valued anywhere from $78,000 in today's auction market. Now, don't get discouraged by the lower end of that range. While dirty pennies may not be in pristine shape, their value can still exceed face value, and for many collectors, that's an exciting discovery. But wait, there are factors that could boost the value of your dirty 1952 wheat penny. If the coin has any unique features such as tuning errors or rare characteristics, it could be worth significantly more. Let's say your penny has a double die error or an unusual toning pattern even with dirt and grime. These characteristics can push the value much higher than expected. Always consider getting your coin graded if you suspect it has unique qualities that could make it more valuable. If you have a dirty 1952 wheat penny with D mint mark and want to sell it, there are a few tips to keep in mind. First, photograph the coin carefully, showing both sides clearly, even with the dirt. Collectors can still see details through grime, and you'll want to showcase every aspect of the coin. Next, you might consider selling your coin through online auction sites or specialized coin dealers. Coins in dirty condition might not fetch high prices at a traditional dealer, but online auctions often attract collectors looking for budget-friendly coins with. The 1952 wheat penny is part of a long tradition in American coinage. Despite its condition, this penny still carries the legacy of its time, showcasing the design by Victor David Brenner that has become iconic over the decades. Even a dirty penny tells the story of American history. So if you have one of these 1952 wheat pennies with D mint mark, don't overlook its value just because it's dirty. It could still be a valuable piece for collectors. That wraps up today's breakdown of the 1952 wheat penny with D mint mark in dirty condition. While it may not be the rarest coin, it's still a great find for any collector, especially if you have the right features. If you own a 1952 penny, next up the 1982 Washington quarter with a large date and D mint mark in bad condition. Stick around as we dive into its value on the auction market today. Let's start by taking a look at the 1982 Washington quarter. This coin was struck as part of the Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The obverse features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. You'll also notice the large date style, a distinctive feature of quarters minted in 1982. On the reverse, we have the iconic eagle design with a shield, created by Herman McNeil. The D mint mark tells us that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. Now, let's talk about the large date variety. In 1982, the US Mint used two different date sizes, and the large date is the more common one. You'll find this large date on quarters minted that year, like the one we're discussing today. The D mint mark on this quarter tells us it was produced in Denver. While not a rare mint mark, it's still important to collectors who track coins by mint mark now. When we talk about bad condition, we mean this coin has seen a lot of circulation. There's heavy wear on the details of both sides, especially on the Washington portrait, where much of the fine detail has been rubbed away. The reverse design also shows significant wear, with much of the eagle's feathers and the shield barely visible. Bad condition coins like this one often come with scratches, scuff marks, and discoloration that result from years of use and improper handling. So what is a 1982 Washington quarter in bad condition worth in the market today in bad condition? This coin is generally valued around $154,000. This isn't a high-value coin by any means, but considering that it's a silver coin, collectors may still find it interesting, especially for completing sets or as part of a circulated collection. While this coin isn't worth a fortune, its value comes mainly from its silver content and its role in completing Washington quarter collections. So what factors affect the value of this coin in bad condition? First, the condition is the biggest factor. The more worn a coin is, the less it's typically worth. But the mint mark and the date also come into play. The 1982 large date variety is pretty common, so even though this coin is silver, it's not considered rare. Coins in better condition or with rare mint marks will always be worth more, but for collectors on a budget, finding a 1982 Washington quarter like this one might be a great addition to their collection. If you're collecting Washington quarters, remember that condition really matters. If you're looking for high-value coins, you'll want to target ones in better condition, but even coins in bad shape like this, 1982 can have some value. especially if you're into collecting silver coins. And don't forget, never clean your coins. Cleaning can damage them and reduce their value. It's best to leave them in their natural state and store them in protective holders. So in today's auction market, the 1982 Washington quarter in bad condition is worth around $300,000. It's not a high-value coin, but it still holds some appeal to collectors, especially with its silver content. Next up, the 1942 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, but in damaged condition. You might be wondering, how much could this damaged penny be worth in today's market? Well, stick around as we uncover the surprising value of this classic coin. Before we talk about the value, let's take a quick look at the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny. This penny was minted during the early years of World War II and features the iconic Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. The 1942 penny has a significant place in numismatic history due to its design and the era in which it was produced. Now, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia, as coins from this mint don't carry a mint mark. And while the 1942 penny is far from rare, the condition plays a big role in its market. Now let's talk about damage condition. When we say damaged, we're referring to a coin that has gone through some wear and tear that affects its appearance, such as scratches, dents, corrosion, or even discoloration. Although damaged condition coins are generally worth less than those in excellent shape, they still have a place in the market, especially for collectors who love the story and character a damaged coin can tell. So, what's the value of a 1942 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in damaged condition today? Typically, a penny in this state would sell for somewhere between $90,000, depending on the extent of the damage and the demand in the. Now, the lower end of that range is for coins with minor damage, like light scratches or tarnishing. On the higher end, if the coin has more noticeable damage or even some rare characteristics, it could fetch a little. While damaged coins may not seem like they'd be worth much, there are factors that could increase the value of a 1942 Lincoln wheat penny in this condition. For example, a rare error, like an off-center strike or double die, could significantly raise its price even with visible damage. Some collectors are particularly interested in these unique errors regardless of damage because they make the coin even more fascinating and valuable. So if your coin has an interesting error, it might be worth having it examined or graded by a professional. If you're thinking about selling your damaged 1942 Lincoln wheat penny, there are a few places you can go. The first option is online auction sites like eBay, where coins in all conditions, especially those with unique damage or errors, can find. Another option is coin dealers, but keep in mind that coins in damaged condition might not get top dollar at a traditional dealer. However, there are numismatic auctions where you could sell it, especially if it has unique traits like toning or a rare error. Despite the damage, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny has a lasting legacy as part of the long-running wheat penny series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958. These coins are a piece of history, and even those in damaged condition still hold value for the right collector. Whether in perfect shape or a bit worn and battered, every wheat penny tells a unique story of America's past. So to recap, your 1942 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in damaged condition could be worth anywhere from $69,000 depending on the severity of the damage and any potential rare features. And remember, even damaged coins can have a place in the heart of a true collector. Next up, we're diving into the value of a 1984 silver Washington quarter dollar with a large date and a D mint mark, but with a twist. This coin is in dirty condition, and we'll be looking at what that means for its value in the current market. Stay tuned. Let's start with a quick overview of the 1984 Washington quarter. This coin was part of the standard circulation series issued by the United States Mint. It features the famous image of George Washington on the obverse, with the eagle and shield on the reverse, designed by John Flanagan and Herman McNeil. Now, unlike the silver quarters produced before 1965, the 1984 Washington quarter is made of copper-nickel clad, so it doesn't contain the silver content that older Washington quarters are known for. Still, this coin is part of the Washington series, which is popular among collectors. So, what do we mean by dirty condition? A coin in dirty condition has visible grime, tarnish, or stains, which usually come from exposure to dirt, oils, or moisture over time. In the case of the 1984 quarter, you'll notice the coin looks worn with dirt buildup and possibly discoloration, which can affect both its appearance and luck. While the coin remains authentic, it's important to note that this dirt can actually reduce its appeal to collectors, as they tend to prefer coins in cleaner, well-maintained condition. Now, let's talk about how the 1984 Washington quarter in dirty condition fares in today's auction market. The value of this coin in its current state is typically around $75,000 or more. While it's not a high-value coin due to the dirty condition, it does hold some worth because it's still part of the popular Washington quarter series. Keep in mind that even though it's not in pristine condition, a coin like this can still sell for a modest price at auction, especially if someone's looking to complete their set of Washington quarters from the 1980s. So, why doesn't this coin fetch a higher price? The key factors are condition and demand. Because the coin is in dirty condition, it's considered less desirable by collectors who focus on high-quality, well-preserved pieces. Additionally, the 1984 quarter is relatively common and not considered rare, which affects its market value. However, for someone interested in collecting circulated quarters or filling in gaps in a set of Washington quarters, this could still be a great addition to their collection at a very affordable price. Even with the dirt, the 1984 Washington quarter can still be a great collectible. If you're a fan of the Washington series, it's a nice coin to have in your collection. Plus, it's part of a historic series that spans decades of US history, making it a worthwhile piece for those who appreciate the legacy of George Washington on US coins. Even coins in circulated and dirty conditions have their charm, especially for collectors who enjoy looking at the progression of design and minting over the years. Before you add a 1984 Washington quarter to your collection, remember a few key tips. Always check the condition of your coins before purchasing. While dirty coins may be less valuable, they can still be good for completing a collection or for those on a budget. And remember, don't clean your coins. Cleaning them can cause more harm than good by further diminishing their value. So it's best to leave them as they are and store them properly. Next up, the 1939 Lincoln Wheat penny with a large date and an S mint mark in extra fine condition. You'll want to stick around to discover just how much this classic coin could be worth in today's market. Before we get into its value, let's take a brief look at the 1939 Lincoln Wheat penny. This penny was struck during the tail end of the Great Depression and carries the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. On the reverse, we see two stalks of wheat, symbolizing the nation's agricultural background. The 1939 penny is often overshadowed by other more famous years in the wheat penny series, but the S mint mark and large date variation are what make this coin particularly interesting to collectors. The S mint mark tells us that this penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint, and it's one of the rarer varieties in the series. Now let's talk about extra fine condition. When we say a coin is in extra fine condition, it means the coin has only minor wear on the high points, such as Lincoln's hair or the wheat stalks, but the overall details remain sharp. The coin will have a lot of its original luster and minimal signs of handling. Coins in extra fine condition are highly sought after by collectors because they offer the best balance between age, rarity, and quality without being overly worn or heavily damaged. So, how much could your 1939 Lincoln Wheat penny with the S mint mark in extra fine condition be worth today? In the current market, these coins can range in value from around $74,000 depending on the specific quality of the coin, demand, and the auction environment. Show examples of 1939 Lincoln Wheat pennies with the S mint mark, highlighting those in extra fine condition listed on auction sites or dealer pages. The value of this coin isn't just based on rarity, it also depends on how well preserved it is. If your penny has kept its sharp details, it could fetch closer to the $190 mark, while one with more minor wear might be closer to $89,000. But there are a few other factors that can influence the price of a 1939 Lincoln wheat penny. For instance, if the penny has been professionally graded by a trusted agency like PCG or NGC, it might be worth more. Graded coins come with a certificate of authenticity and can appeal to more serious collectors. Also, the market conditions play a role. If there's a surge in demand for wheat pennies or Lincoln-related memorabilia, your coin's value might increase temporarily. So, where can you buy or sell a 1939 Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition? You can find these coins at local coin shops, online dealers, and at auction sites like eBay. Just remember that prices can fluctuate, so it's important to do your research before buying or selling. Another option is to check out coin shows where you can meet with other collectors and possibly sell your coins to dealers who specialize in rare finds. The 1939 Lincoln wheat penny is a great addition to any wheat penny collection, especially if it has that S-mint mark. While it may not be the rarest penny in the series, it still holds a special place for collectors looking to complete their sets or add a coin with a little extra history and whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, owning a coin like this can be an exciting part of your numismatic journey. To recap, a 1939 Lincoln wheat penny with an S-mint mark in extra fine condition can range in value from about $187 to $300, depending on its grade and market conditions. Keep an eye out for this coin. Its combination of rarity and well-preserved condition makes it a prized piece for collectors. Next up, the 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in very fine condition. Stick around to find out what it's worth in today's auction market. Let's kick things off with a quick overview of the 1966 Washington quarter. Struck in 19 silver, this quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which was first minted in 1932. The obverse of the coin features the well-known portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, and the reverse shows the eagle design by Herman McNeil. Unlike other years, the 1966 quarter does not have a mint mark on the obverse. This means it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as Philadelphia quarters from this era don't typically have mint marks. Now, let's take a closer look at what we mean by very fine condition. Coins in this condition show significant wear, but still maintain a lot of their original details. The portrait of George Washington is clear, but the finer details like the hair strands and the inscription may be slightly worn down. The reverse design, with the eagle and shield, is still well defined but may have some flattening of the feathers and the shield's detail. In very fine condition, the coin shows signs of age and circulation, but remains in decent shape for collectors who appreciate vintage coins that still hold a lot of character. So, how much is the 1966 Washington quarter in very fine condition worth today? In today's auction market, this coin typically sells for around $220,000. While it's not the most valuable Washington quarter out there, it's still a nice find, especially if you're looking to collect silver coins from this era. Remember, the value comes from both the silver content and the fact that it's part of a popular series. While the 1966 isn't a rare year, its silver composition and classic design still appeal to collectors. So what factors affect the value of the 1966 Washington quarter in very fine condition? The primary factors are condition, rarity, and demand. In very fine condition, the coin holds its value due to the silver content and the overall popularity of the Washington quarter series. However, since there's no mint mark, it's not as rare as some other quarters from different years or mints. Coins in uncirculated condition, or with rare mint marks such as proofs or S-mint marks, tend to fetch higher prices. But the 1966 is still a solid piece for any silver coin collector. If you're collecting Washington quarters or silver coins in general, the 1966 can be a great addition. Keep an eye on the condition of your coin, as it plays a huge role in its market value. Even though the coin may not be worth a lot in very fine condition, it's still an essential part of the series to protect the value of your coins. Consider storing them in coin holders or 2x2 holders to prevent further wear or damage. So to wrap up, the 1966 Washington quarter in very fine condition is worth around $260,000 on the auction market today. It's not a high-value coin, but it still has its appeal due to its silver content. And next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and D mint mark in dirty condition. You might be wondering, how much is a dirty penny like this worth in today's market? Stick around, because I'm about to break down its value and the factors that affect. Let's start with a little history. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during World War II, a time when the United States was facing serious economic challenges. The large date variety was struck alongside a small date version, but the large date variety is the one we'll focus on today. These pennies were made from copper, and despite the wartime restrictions, they were still very much a symbol of hope and prosperity. The D Mint mark indicates that this penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is one of the key factors collectors consider when determining value. Now let's talk about condition. The coin we're focusing on today is in dirty condition, meaning it has accumulated dirt, grime, and wear over time. While this might not sound like a big deal, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. In general, coins that are dirty tend to be less valuable than well-preserved ones, but there are some collectors who are still interested in coins with a bit of character. Dirt can often obscure the true features of the coin, but even so, it's important to remember that value is influenced by several factors like rarity, mint mark, and collector interest. So, how much is a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and DMD mint mark worth in dirty condition? In today's market, a coin in this condition can range from about $78,000. While it's not as valuable as a mint condition example, a dirty penny like this can still have value to the right collector. Remember, coins in damaged or dirty condition may not reach their full potential value, but they can still be a solid piece in your collection, especially if you're just starting out. So why does dirt matter? Well, dirt can cause irreversible damage to the surface of the coin. It can lead to corrosion or wear that may reduce the overall appeal of the coin. Some collectors will clean a dirty coin to improve its appearance, but that's something you should be cautious. While cleaning might make the coin look better at first glance, improper cleaning can actually lower the value because it can scratch or damage the coin's surface. If you're looking to sell or buy a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in dirty condition, your best bet is to check out online auctions like eBay, where you'll find a variety of listings from other collectors and dealers. You can also check local coin shops or coin shows if you prefer buying or selling in person. Be sure to compare prices from multiple sources to get the best deal, and don't forget to factor in shipping and seller fees when buying or selling online. Even if your 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is in dirty condition, it's still part of a fascinating piece of history. If you're serious about collecting wheat pennies, you can start by looking for better condition coins and completing a set. Over time, you'll be able to spot the differences between mint marks, small date vs. large date varieties, and the different condition levels. Collecting is all about finding rare pieces that tell a story. Next up, the 1988 silver Washington $quarter with a large date and P mint mark. This beauty is in extra fine condition, and we're going to explore what it's worth in today's auction market. So, if you're curious about its value, stick around. Let's begin by talking about the 1988 Washington Quarter. This coin was issued as part of the ongoing Washington Quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, you'll find the classic eagle design with the shield, designed by Herman McNeil. The 1988 quarter is made of copper nickel clad, which means it doesn't contain any silver. But despite that, it remains a popular coin among collectors. Now, this particular coin features the large date variety. In 1988, the US Mint used a larger date style for the quarters, which makes it distinct from other years in the series. You'll also notice this coin has a P Mint mark, indicating that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. While the P Mint mark is fairly common for Washington quarters from this era, it still adds to the uniqueness of the coin and is important for collectors who focus on mint marks. So, what does extra fine condition mean? Coins in extra fine XOF condition show very light wear, but still have sharp, clear details, especially on the design elements. For the 1988 quarter, this means the Washington portrait is crisp and the eagle's feathers on the reverse are easily distinguishable with just a small amount of wear from circulation. Extra fine condition is a great place to be in the market. The coin still looks excellent and collectors appreciate the well-preserved details. So, what is the 1988 Washington quarter worth in today's auction market? In extra fine condition, this coin is generally valued around $6 to $10. It's not a high-value coin, but it's a nice price for a coin in this condition. While the 1988 quarter is not rare, the extra fine condition helps it stand out. But what factors influence the value of this quarter? Well, for one, condition is key. Extra fine coins have a nice balance of wear and preservation, which makes them desirable. However, the coin's value also depends on demand and market. The 1988 quarter isn't one of the rarest in the series, but because it's in extra fine condition, it appeals to collectors who want to complete their Washington quarter sets. Also, mint marks can make a difference. While the P-mint mark is common, certain collectors may still seek it for completeness, especially in well-maintained condition like this one. If you're thinking about collecting Washington quarters, here's a quick tip. Condition is everything. For example, this 1988 quarter in extra fine condition is a great piece to have in your collection. But if you're looking for higher value, you may want to aim for a coin in uncirculated condition or a rare mint error. And remember, don't clean your coins. Cleaning can damage them and decrease their value. Instead, store them properly and let their natural beauty show. Next up, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition. How much is it worth in today's market? Let's find out. First, let's talk a little bit about the history behind the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. This penny was struck in the mid-20th century, at a time when the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for almost 50 years. The wheat penny design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse, was first introduced in 1909, but in 1957 it was still going strong. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the last years of the wheat penny series before it was replaced by the memorial cent in 1959. The 1957 penny is often more common than earlier years, but the key here is that condition plays a massive role in its value. Now let's talk about the condition of the coin. When we say this penny is in very fine condition, what does that really mean? Well, very fine is a grade that indicates the coin has been circulated but still retains a lot of detail. Zoom in on the coin's details, highlighting the well-defined features of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse. In very fine condition, the coin shows noticeable wear, but the design features, like Lincoln's face, the date and the letters, are still sharp. The wheat stalks on the reverse are easily visible, and you can still see clear, readable numbers and lettering. Now, the mint mark plays an important role when evaluating a coin's value. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny we're talking about today is without a mint mark, which means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1957, no mint mark was placed on coins produced in Philadelphia, which is why you'll find some collectors seeking these pieces out, especially when they're in higher grades like very fine. Pennies with mint marks, like the 1957 D, may have different values depending on their condition, but no mint mark examples are considered a bit more desirable for some collectors. The 1957 without a mint mark offers a unique piece of history. So, how much is this 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition worth in today's market? In very fine condition, you can expect it to be valued around $469,000 on average. Show a graph or auction listing for 1957 Lincoln wheat pennies in very fine condition with real-world auction prices and listings. While it might not be a rare coin compared to some of the other wheat pennies, its condition and lack of mint mark still give it an edge in the market. If you're lucky enough to have one in top condition, it could even fetch closer to $600,000 at the right auction. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny, auction websites like eBay are a great place to start. Here, you can see live auctions and recent sales of similar coins to get an idea of current market values. Make sure you check out the seller's feedback and review the details of the listing to ensure you're getting an authentic and well-described coin. When selling, you can also visit local coin shops or coin shows, where dealers might offer you a fair price based on the current market. If you're new to collecting, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny is a great starting point. As you build your collection, you can look for other wheat pennies from different years and conditions, and even try to complete a set of coins with mint marks and no mint marks. Collecting coins isn't just about the value, it's about learning the history and appreciating the artistry behind each piece. So, whether you have a 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny in your collection or you're just starting, enjoy the journey. To wrap things up, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition is worth around $946,000 in today's market, with a bit more potential for higher value depending on the exact condition. It's not the rarest penny out there, but it still has a place in any collection. Thanks for watching. If you have a 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny or any other coins you want to learn more about, let me know in the comments below. Next up, the 1980 Washington Quarter series. Specifically, the 1980 Washington Quarter with a large date and D-mint mark in extra fine condition. Stick around to find out what this coin is worth in today's auction market. Let's start with a quick overview of the 1980 Washington Quarter. This coin was minted as part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been in production since 1932. The 1980 Quarter features the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, on the obverse, while the reverse showcases a classic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, designed by Herman McNeil. Unlike some earlier years, the 1980 Quarter comes in two versions, a large date and a small date. For this video, we're focusing on the large date version, which is more common. It also has a D mint mark, indicating it was minted at the Denver Mint. Now, let's talk about extra fine condition. Coins in this condition show minimal wear and their details are still quite sharp. On the 1980 Washington Quarter, the portrait of George Washington remains crisp, with the facial features clearly visible. The reverse design of the eagle and the olive branch is well defined, with just a slight flattening of the details due to circulation. In extra fine condition, you can expect to see minimal signs of wear, making the coin look almost brand new, with only slight imperfections around the high points, such as the hair or the eagle's wings. So, what's the value of the 1980 Washington Quarter with D mint mark in extra fine condition in today's auction market? This coin typically sells for around $138,000. The price may vary slightly depending on factors such as overall demand, auction platform, and the specific condition of the coin. Even though the 1980 Quarter isn't considered rare, the silver content and the D mint mark still make it appealing to collectors. Plus, quarters from the late 20th century like this one have their own niche in the world of coin collecting. What factors affect the value of the 1980 Washington Quarter in extra fine condition? First off, condition is key. Coins in extra fine condition are more desirable to collectors than those in average or lower grades. The mint mark is also important. While D is not rare, it still distinguishes the coin as coming from the Denver Mint, adding a touch of unique. Other things to keep in mind are the rarity of the date and the level of demand in the market. The 1980 large date isn't a particularly rare year, but its clean condition and D mint mark still attract interest from collectors. And if you're looking to add the 1980 Washington Quarter to your collection, it's a great piece, especially if you can find it in extra fine condition. While this coin may not be worth a fortune, it's still a valuable addition for those who collect silver quarters from the 20th century. To maintain its value, be sure to handle your coin with care. Consider storing it in a coin holder or holder to protect it from further wear and tear. So in conclusion, the 1980 Washington Quarter with a D mint mark in extra fine condition is worth around $357,000 in today's auction market. While it may not be a rare or highly valuable coin, it still holds appeal for collectors due to its clean condition and silver content. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more coin value updates and collecting tips. See you in the next